My name is Leanne Pritchard. I work at Coutts Bank in London as a fashion and luxury specialist. Crown and Glory was a project that started about a year ago when I met one of the volunteers from King's, and she said to me that she'd been trying to get fashion designers to donate scarves because the wigs that were available on the NHS were, pretty nasty, to be honest. And when women lose their hair, how rough it is for them when they're going through treatment. And the boss at Coutts said to me, "Do you think there's anything you can do?" At the time, I knew I was waiting for some results myself to find out whether I needed brain surgery to remove a tumour, which I then found out I did. And so the project became quite personal for me and something I really wanted to do.
I'm Sasha, I'm the digital director at Harper's Bazaar magazine. I got first involved with the project with Coutts and their project Crown and Glory because I met Leanne, who was about to have surgery, and her story spoke closely to my heart because I've had brain surgery twice, and my editor-in-chief Justine Picardie's sister died of cancer. So it was a sort of one of those things where all the stars align and all these personal stories become involved and create a bigger, sort of better story, I suppose. Working for Harper's Bazaar, it's a fashion magazine, so fashion is people think of it as quite frivolous and sort of removed from our real lives, and Justine and I feel really strongly that it's about emotion and stories with heart. So it was a really lovely project to work with and something that we really believed in. So that's how it started.
The whole process has taken nearly a year because the scarves were just delivered to King's this week. The reason it's taken so long is obviously producing the scarves. We've run all the production, everything, and they're run in Italy out of a beautiful factory that makes very high quality scarves, and I knew that it was all about fabric. As much as it was design and getting Stella McCartney and Rake to come on board, I wanted to build as much profile for the charity project as possible so that hopefully in the future we can maybe get other people to financially support and do it for more hospitals and more people.
When you're ill and you lose your hair, it's traumatic for either sex, but for women it's especially traumatic because our hair is so much connected to our idea of ourselves and our idea of our femininity, and when that goes, there's a real loss of self and loss of confidence. And I also think there's a kind of myth that when you're ill, bigger things are at stake and you're thinking of life and death and all the big things in life, and things like how you look and what you're wearing doesn't matter, and that's absolutely not the case. In fact, it probably becomes even more important when you're ill.
We wanted to do a men's scarf because although only 25% of the patients here are male, the reason for that is actually that men don't come forward enough when they're ill.
My name is Clive Darby. I've been in the industry, menswear fashion industry, for nigh on 30 years. My background, as it stands at the moment, is founder of Rake and also creative director of Rake. We wanted to get involved with Coutts and the Crown and Glory project, obviously because it's a worthy cause. For us, it was a matter of looking at something that effectively, I suppose, is considered very much a lady's accessory, that being the scarf. We came to this project very, very open, listening to the parameters that obviously we had to work with, as in terms of fabrication, as in terms of certain colours that had to be involved within the scarf. The biggest thing at any given point is that it had to touch the senses. It had to connect with either touching the head, around the neck, or just being a part of somebody. It becomes a security item. It's like a great cuddly cardigan. It's like something warm that touches the emotions on a special day when everybody's down and it's feeling pretty low. So that's the angle that we came at it on. We've all been affected or have friends that have been affected by cancer, and it certainly was a grounding level to come to something that is basically classed as an accessory in our game. And it's more than that. It's more than just a piece of fabric. It's more than just a cloth that gets tied. It has to connect with emotions, and it has to connect with senses. And I hope dearly that's what we've managed to achieve here.
It's amazing to have Stella McCartney collaborate with us on this, and Rake. They're both sort of iconic leading British designers, and Stella, I talked about fashion with a heart, and Stella really sums that up, I think, due to her experience of her mother and she's so giving and generous with her time and with her designs, and she's really got behind this project, and it's made it fly. It's been so incredibly popular with our readers, with our users, with kind of the wider market, with the hospital. So it's an amazing opportunity, and we couldn't be more thankful.
So today we came into the hospital to train the volunteers that work with the patients as they're going through chemotherapy. They're an incredible group of women that do a job that is quite extraordinary. But I wanted to arm them with confidence to take the scarf and give it to someone and say, let me show you how to tie it. I've learned some makeup techniques. It was really important that we didn't just end the project with handing something over, that there was a follow through. It was human in a way of connecting the volunteers to the patients and to the project. And I mean, the reaction even from patients they've already seen so far has been fantastic, and it makes me that look, if we can touch people's lives, there's 2,500 patients that will get a scarf this year. The project lasts for a whole year, so we've produced enough to give to every new patient that comes through King's, and just to make that amount of people happy is really what the project is all about.